Hey guys, I hope you're having a great week. So today we're going to practice adding, subtracting, and multiplying decimals all the way out to the hundredths place. All right, so it might help you if you just copy. I think there's only 3 slides on this slide deck, so if you'll copy those out and work on the slide deck, or just write these problems down and do them with me. So when you are adding with decimals, you really need to remember that you got to line up the decimals. Line up the decimals. Line them up right on top of each other. So you got to remember that. All right, so we have 1.25. The next one is 0.4. Those decimals have to be lined up. The next one is 0.75. So I didn't necessarily line up any digits. They just happen to kind of fall on top of each other naturally. If you have any spaces, empty spaces, you can always fill those in with zeros. So we're going to add the hundredths position. So 5 plus 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Bring down that decimal. Carry that 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So this first one is 2 4/10. You can always drop zeros. After the decimal, you can drop zeros. You could either say this is 2 40/100, which is equivalent to 2 4/10. All right, you guys, go ahead and pause the video. I want you to try these yourself and then come back and see if you get them right. The next one is 75. Whoops. 75.06, 13.3, and 9.2. You have to line up those decimals. If you have blank spaces, you can add zeros if you want. So I got 6, 5. What would that be? 17? I think so. 7, 8, 9. What do you guys think? Did you get 97 56/100? All right, what about the third one? 26.44, 8.2, and 0.356. Got to line up those zeros. I mean, decimals, excuse me. All right, we're going to add 4 plus 5 is 9. Bring down that decimal. 8, 6 is 14, 3. 34 and 996 thousandths. There you go. Let me know if you got them right. I hope you did. All right, now when you're subtracting decimals, you're still lining up those decimals right on top of each other. All right, so now we're going to subtract. So 3 minus 0 is 3. Now we can't take 7 from 0. A common mistake is people just bring down the 7. You cannot do that. You have to borrow. This becomes a 10. 10 minus 7 is 3. And 14 minus 6 is 8. So the first one, I got 8 33/100. All right, now you guys pause the video, and I want you to try these 3 and come back and see if you get them right, and hopefully I get them right. You guys, if you ever notice an error in my videos or in any of my answers, please let me know, because I make errors, a lot of errors, in fact, unfortunately. So guys, I just need you to point them out to me. If I make them, it'll never be on purpose, I promise. All right, on this one, I wanted to talk about specifically because there's nothing right here, but you're not allowed to write down that 2. You have to add a 0. And since you can't take 2 from 0, you have to turn this into a 10, okay? So if you just brought down that 2, that's not right. So 10 minus 2 is 8. So now 13 minus 8 is 5. 13 minus 8 is 5. Bring down that decimal straight down. 7 minus 6 is 1. 6 minus 2 is 4. And bring down the 3. And that's my answer, 341 and 558 thousandths. Now on the next two, we have 4 as a whole number. Well, if you don't see a decimal, that means the decimal sitting at the end. So when we line up our decimals, you're going to have to add some zeros, okay? So once again, it doesn't matter if you bring down this 0. Any zeros at the end to the right of decimals, if there's no other number past it, you can drop it. So we didn't even need that one. But we have to turn this 0 into a 10. So 10 minus 3 is 7. Bring down that decimal. And 3 minus 0 is 3. So on this one, we're going to do the same thing. 7.0 minus 1.8. Once again, we have to turn this 0 into a 10. So 10 minus 8 is 2. 6 minus 1 is 5. So my answer is 5 2/10. Oh, my pen turned off again. That's all right. All right, let's look at one more slide, I believe. So when we're multiplying, you're going to ignore the decimal in the multiplying section. You're going to ignore the decimals. You're going to multiply like you always do. And then at the end, we're going to count how many total numbers are behind the decimal in the problem. And that's how many total numbers have to be behind the decimal in the answer. For example, this one, 2.4 times 1.6. So we're multiplying. 4 times 3 is 12. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7. All right, to get to the next number, we're going to add a 0 here. Now we can multiply 1 times 4 and 1 times 2. So now there's no decimals in this section. Just ignore them. We're going to add 2, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now this is how you know where the decimal goes. Come up in the problem, count how many numbers are to the right of the decimal in the math problem. So here's 1, 2. 2 numbers behind the decimal. So in our answer, 1, 2, in our answer, we need 2 numbers to the right of the decimal. So the answer is 3 12/100. All right, the next one, 3.67 times 0.5. So in our subtraction and addition problems, we line up the decimals. In math, and when we multiply, we do not have to do that. You do not have to line up the decimals, just the last digits. So 7 times 5 is 35. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 3 is 33. And 15 plus 3 is 18. Where's our decimal go? Well, in the problem, there's 1, 2, 3 digits to the right of this decimal. So in our answer, 1, 2, 3, our answer is 1.835. Now, some people want to go, well, how am I multiplying and my answer is smaller than what I started with? Did you notice that? A lot of times when you multiply, your answer is much bigger than what you started with. But 0.5 is less than 1. If you eat half a pizza, you do not eat a whole pizza, right? So if you multiply by a number that's less than 1, your answer is actually going to be smaller than what you started with. Here we multiplied by just over 1, 1.3. So our answer was bigger than what we started with. All right, you guys try the next two on your own and then come back and check your answers. All right, so on this one, notice that this is a very tiny number, right? So our answer should be very small compared to our original number. And on the last one, 0.8 is almost 1 whole. So our final answer will be close to 45, but less than 45. All right, so let's see how we do. So 42.32 times 0.01. So 1 times 2, 1 times 3, 1 times 2, 1 times 4. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers past the decimal. Look how small our answer is. Very tiny compared to our original. Because 1, that's like 1%, very small amount. All right, in the last one, we do 45 times 0.8. So 8 times 5 is 40, carry the 4. 32 plus 4 is 36. And there's one number behind the decimal, one number behind the decimal. So the answer is 36. So 36 is close to 45, but it's less than 45 because 0.8 is less than 1. We're multiplying by a number less than 1. All right, you guys, so make sure you do today's assignment. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Everyone have a great day, and I will talk to you guys soon.